All right, so I'm going to be demonstrating how to do file sharing in UTM. Um, so most importantly, this is very useful, for example, if you want to write something on your host side, whether you're writing C code and you want to debug it using GDB on an x86 platform. This is actually a very useful case where you can take advantage of file sharing features in UTM. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have the directory that you want to share in here. So I just took a random JavaScript project I worked on some time ago, and I loaded it up on here and started my machine. So once you're actually at the login screen, we're gonna do all of this out of the CLI, just because since it is on an x86 emulator, it tends to be a little slow with the GUI. So working with the CLI is a great way to go about that. And the way we enter that is by hitting the FN key, the control key, the option key, and the F3 key at the same time. And it prompts us to actually log into our host, so we'll do so. So once we've done that, we are actually in our home directory. The way you can actually tell is, you have your desktop folder, your documents, things like that. What we want to do is make sure that we have the right tools installed. So I will show you guys the commands to install things like spice and davfs2, which is necessary to set up file sharing in this case. I'll put the commands in the description for that. I won't execute them here just because it's just 2 commands. But once you have those installed, the first thing we're going to do is actually make a folder for sharing. In this case, I actually have a folder called shared, but we can do so by typing in mkdir, so make directory, and then we'll just call it shared. As you can see, it says it exists, so we're good to go in that regard. And then we're going to make a script that pretty much attaches our host folder to our guest. So we're going to use vim in this case, and we'll type in vim share.sh. So I'm just going to kind of type away here and you guys can follow along. In order to start typing in vim, you just actually hit the I key, and you can insert and make changes to the text file. And lastly, we want to attach our shared folder to our, to our host folder. So the way we do that is, since we named it shared, we'll just type in, the following here, and that's how we'll attach it in our case. So you want to hit the escape key, and then what you want to hit is the colon key, and then W for write, and then Q for quit afterwards. And then next up, before we execute this command, we just want to run the following command. And that allows us to execute that command. As you can see, we have share.sh. So the command that we want to now type in, or we just want to type in /share.sh. And when we do so, we'll just type in our host password. And then it's going to actually ask us for the username of our host. So once we've done that, everything's actually attached and in working operation. And the way we can actually check that is by doing the following. So remember, we had that shared folder. We'll just change directories into the shared folder. If you look over here, it actually has all the files I have here in my Visual Studio project. So anytime I make changes here, it will appear on here. For example, let's say we make a file in Visual Studio, and we'll just call it test.js. And if I type in the ls command, which shows everything, as you can see, the test.js file is here in real time. We can even view the contents of it. As you can see, that's the contents of that JavaScript file there. So this is very, very helpful in a lot of cases, and really speedy and fast. And hopefully this was helpful to anyone that is doing something similar of this nature. So yeah.